problem. If you don't want to be a present father, that's your problem. We're not going to spend time to talk about those fathers, discussing them and, bringing pain to people. No, we will focus on the fathers who are doing well. We'll focus on the fathers who are changing the narratives and, have more conversations so that we encourage the younger fathers who are coming up. And look, from my observation and where I sit, I think that if you're a father today and you're bashed, it's your choice. Because a lot of fathers have made fatherhood so beautiful. There are fathers who are raising their children single-handedly, and they're doing a very good job at it. So this month, we're dedicating it to celebrating those fathers. And hey, if you want to be celebrated, then you want to be that kind of father. And today, we just want to find out from them what joy it brings them to be that present in the lives of their children. And as you heard earlier, Kofi just said good morning. Kofi is a father and an artist manager, and if you like, that is Celestine Donko's husband. So that's Kofi Donko for you. I also have George Ajabain here with me in the studio. George is a father. He's head of innovation, SG Ghana advocate for persons, and an advocate for persons with disability. We also have joining us on Zoom, Timothy Bentum. He is a father, a pastor, and an actor. And then we have Kofi Ochiaming also joining us on Zoom. He's a father, a media practitioner, and a musician. So you can imagine the depth of conversation we will be having here this morning. George, Kofi, Timothy, and another Kofi Ochiaming. Kofi Ochiaming is not on Zoom yet, but I'm sure he'll join us very soon. You're welcome to Home Affairs.
Thank you, Edem.
Thank you once again.
Thanks so much.
Great. Okay, yeah. Tim just unmuted. And Timothy, this is your second or third time on Home Affairs, right? We've had this conversation before, some years ago.
Yeah. I think it's the third time.
This is the third time. Okay, great. Good to have you back. And then we're initiating George today. George, you're welcome to the family. In fact, you're not alone. Kofi too, this is his first time. He's just a two-note guy.
Thank you.
So you both are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And we've initiated you, so we'll be calling you for other conversations.
Not a problem.
Great. So we'll get straight into the conversation. And I first would like to find out how it feels like. I know all of you are very, very present fathers, not the ones that I put your money down, I don't care what happens, or I wake up, I rush out, I come back, I sleep, I wake up, I go. You're all very present in the lives of your children. Let me start from you, George. How does it feel like to be that kind of a father? And to also find out, taking you back a little bit, did you have that? Was your daddy present in your life?
Thank you, Edem, and good morning to your wonderful listeners. I just say that my father has always been, and he has always been my hero.
Beautiful.
I am actually present in the life of my children today because my father made it a point to be present. And for me, I think I had a very good mentor. And guess what? He's still present in my life today. When the clouds gather, my father will be the first to call me, "Oh, hey, have you gotten home?"
Wow.
So that presence that he has instilled in me, I also try to replicate that in the lives of my children.
You had no choice. You had a solid foundation.
Yes.
So let's talk about you now.
Okay.
Married with 3 children. While planning to marry, you anticipated that you were going to have children, right?
Well, funny enough, the day my beautiful girl Jada was born, when I told my mother that Jada was coming, she was surprised. She's like, "Some of these kids, they don't know where they are going to."
Oh!
So my life probably wasn't that ready, if you may, for parenthood. But, God has ways and means of dealing with us that he transforms you into something that you were not prepared for.
Okay.
I really wasn't prepared for it, but by grace, I guess I didn't turn out that bad. The first time I heard Jada's heartbeat, I had to stop a bit.
When she was still a fetus?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because I enjoy speed. I drive a lot and I enjoy speed. But the
Okay.
first time I heard Jada's heartbeat, I had to slow down
Oh
the
my
pedal because
God.
now I felt I had in my hands life that I had to cater for. So I had to stop a bit and pause and take a breath.
Wow.
Yes. So that was the first time. And trust me, when Elroy came, Elroy is my second, who's special needs. When Elroy came, I haven't actually experienced love like that before. And then my last is Kweku. And that boy is a skip in my gait when I walk. If you see him, you understand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I'll come back to find out from you how raising them have been, the challenges, and how you're working through them. Kofi, I ask you the same thing. You live in a girls' dormitory.
Yes, and my madam is the senior house mistress.
She is. Yeah. So we a house master now. So yes, friends, school head, proprietor. Which are you?
But you are the bishop, yeah.
Oh, you and you remember cleaner. And now pantry man.
The pantry in the movie. I want to I don't know.
But yeah, tell me, how was your experience? Like the first time you noticed, I mean, wifey was pregnant, so we're gonna have a baby and all that.
Well, I think I want to start from where George started. I mean, my late father. I think I'm so blessed. I had a father who, was present in almost every major decision I had to make in my life. He was my best friend until he passed out like 3 years ago.
Oh,
so
yeah, I remember.
yeah, he was just like, I mean, I don't really have a relationship with my mom.
Okay.
Yes, although my mom is still around. I think this year we've spoken not more than 3 times.
Really?
Yes. But hardly would a week go without
You having a conversation with your dad before he passed.
with the old man. So because he gave me that, I also see it as a responsibility to be very present in the lives of my children. And it's a joy, yes, you are getting married and you have plans to have a family and all that. I think for our first, that's Ohima, we were so hopeful we were going to have a boy. So we had a name, and then
I know how that feels.
we were planning towards all that, and there she came, a girl. And, the joy of being a father, and I think for me, the joy was more, I really felt it when their mom had to go to school. I think then we had 2. We had him and we had Aram, and I was with them at home. We didn't have a house help. Yes, I had to do everything because she was on campus.
Okay.
I had to do everything from cooking to
Cleaning,
preparing them from school, taking them to school, bringing them back. She was a distance student, so mostly she goes for like 6 weeks on campus, and
Hey.
yes. So so that's where the bond really, started, getting, deeper and deeper till today, and it's a joy. I always say that yes, I'm in a girls' dormitory surrounded by 4 women now. So you can imagine attention everywhere.
How old are they now?
Ohima is 18, Aram is 16.
Oh.
Yes, and Achasa is 13.
You are enjoying them.
So you see now.
You are enjoying
You
them.
see.
At that age. At that age. Oh, you're enjoying them. I know fathers and their daughters, right? We'll talk about them in a bit.
Yes.
I think, my husband couldn't wait for her first girl to turn 18 and go to uni. Now on Fridays, go grab her, she's driving his car, they are in town. I'm like, you were waiting for this age. the other one and all the work there. This is what he was waiting for. He was waiting for the time she would grow up and they would grow up and become his side chicks. So I know the thing with fathers and their daughters. So I'm listening to you and I'm thinking to myself, if you're a father and you don't have a relationship with your children and you're not building it with them, waiting you gain. You're really losing out a lot, because this men here, I'm sure they are having a ball. And I want to believe that when you're out there and work is done, you really want to get back home.
Well, for me, home is everything. I really don't step out. I don't really have a life outside home. So for me, it's all home. And if there's anything I really look forward to these days, is picking my last daughter from school at 4 p.m.
Wow.
And so I'll always be in town, but make sure that at about 4 I'm close to her,
And the conversations will start.
And then it will start.
Yeah.
Buy this, don't buy that, and that kind of thing. So
George, how old are yours?
So Jada is 16, and that's a woman. So Jada is 16, and then Elroy is 10, and then Kweku is 8.
Those ages are sweet, oh.
Hey. Well, so I have. Well, he's blessed to just have been in a girls' dormitory, but I have a mixture of radicals.
Yeah.
And it's not for the weak-hearted, but there's some joy, as you say, or there's some 99.7 that comes with it when, I don't have the luxury of going home early to be with them. But what I used to be a workaholic. But now what I've decided to do is, as soon as I finish work, I leave the laptops in the office.
Yeah.
And on weekends too, I leave the laptops in the office, so I can have some time to hear about Kweku's dream of playing for Real Madrid and Jada's fashion desires and Elroy trying to talk, and it's amazing. But if you become their best friends, you get to understand and help shape their lives. Other than that, they'll be left on the streets, and you wouldn't want that to happen.
Great. With you especially, we will be talking about Elroy.
Yes.
And how it is blending his needs with the two who are growing without special needs.
Yeah.
And how the home is like, how you manage all of those. But let me go on Zoom and talk to Timothy. Hi, Tim.
Hey.
All right.
What a God.
I take that. How are you again?
God is helping us.
So are you daddy to 6 or 8 or 10?
In my wildest dreams, I wish that would be possible. I'm daddy to 3.
Okay, so I think 3 is becoming the very
magic
ideal. Girls, a mixture, and how old are they?
Yeah, so I'll go on 3. Inshira is the first. Inshira is 17. I think turns 18 in October. Timothy is 12 or 11. And K is 9. Duke is 9.
Okay.
Timothy, I'm not too sure. That's understandable.
That's understanding. It's okay. We'll pardon you for that. For now, we're talking about the joy and how it felt like when you realized that you were becoming a daddy, and how the bond and the journey has been so far.
Yeah. Initially, I was still a boy. I'm not that much of a boy age-wise, but still a boy mentally. Upstairs, I was still pretty much a boy, so that the space within which I operated wasn't as I would have wanted to, But from the very get-go, it was still better than, most young fathers. I could very much relate with, I believe my brother's name is George, with the speeding part. you know, immediately you have kids, yeah, your outlook at life changes.
Everything
Your
changes.
worldview, Charlie. Immediately you are very careful the way you negotiate terms and
Yeah.
those times. I mean, I like attrition. You might know what that,
Original bad boy.
but as the first one dropped, a lot of that had to change, and also the staying out late, because I've not always been on this side of the fence, i.e. pastoring and all of that. I mean, I was on that side. So, and with filmmaking, it's always a very nocturnal activity, So I'm always out. I'm always out. I'm always out. That had to dwindle drastically because then I had to make time, and the kind of wife I had, well, the kind of parents I had, I think it really shaped my worldview on what marriage is. So I never saw my father scream at my wife. Scream at my mother. I never saw my mother like disrespect him. It was a very loving module I got to see, to grow up in. And so with me, when I walk through the door after coming, like after a long day's work, whatever, immediately I get in the door, I am met with a baby. I am told in very plain terms, my name is also Yawozi.
That's it.
I've been working the whole day. And then so I literally, and then unfortunately for me, for some reason the baby would sleep better when she was with me. I kept saying, what kind of life is this?
You had a magic wand.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's still that phrase, it's okay, it's all right. It's okay, it's all right. He always laughs at me, so I'll be holding the baby, it's okay, it's all right. It's okay. Sometimes I'm dozing off in the couch, and sometimes when you sit down, she starts to cry or whatever. Then you have to get up and pace. Oh my goodness, those were tiring, long nights. But for some reason, I looked forward to them. I mean, to hold your own baby in your arms. I remember the first time, very first time I took the baby from her. The baby won't stop crying, and I literally wept. She will come. Oh, my wife was like, "Oh, no. I literally cried. She will come to me. She will stop. I don't remember what I was saying, but yes, I was literally crying. So, those have been very, interesting sessions we've had. And with the boys, it's something else. I mean, my home is still a home of mommy boss, daddy is, mommy's a boss, literally. I mean, if you enter my home and I can scream and they are still doing their things, literally. And their mother can look at them.
They know they fear you.
I remember their uncle came by, my younger brother came by, and I said, and then he asked the boy, or I don't know which of them, and said, but catch you, my daddy's always screaming.
Oh.
Hey.
Daddy's always doing what?
Daddy's always screaming. Like daddy's always shouting. Daddy's always shouting.
And your shouting doesn't go anywhere.
No. I mean, I couldn't say that to my father. Whatever years ago, I asked Bobo to, but it's been a very healthy environment. I think that I've learned a lot in that space. My wife traveled. I remember the last one, and I'll pass the baton. My wife traveled, and I couldn't find anything. I didn't know what to do. These kids, I kept shouting, go and sleep, go and come and go and sleep. But these kids were not mind me. So I called and I said, baby, she said, give them the phone. That was the two boys then. She went to the first. I said, Madam, it was like she had just pushed the button. When she gave me back the phone, they were lying down, duvets on them, and I said, what did you tell them? Because I've been trying to do this in the past at least 45 minutes. They'll come out, go. I want to drink water. I think that it has just shown me a lot of patience, shown me a lot of, endurance and how to, because if you don't take care, you would misinterpret their actions. It's just been a roller coaster of emotions, and love. And I'm just glad to be a father, basically.
This is
Edem,
so sweet. Yes,
Edem,
George.
funny enough, right? In my home, it's sort of the reverse in the house. So my wife, Sefako, is always the lovey-dovey parent. And with me, you don't play with daddy, because once I say stop, you had better stop. Either than that, pressure good day for you. You understand? I remember there was a day that they were worrying this poor woman, the two boys. They were just all over her. And then she calls me, right? And on speaker, said, Nana, omane hame. I was like, boys, sleep. She said within seconds, as if it was a trance, everybody went to bed, But it's a beautiful, just as Kofi was saying that the wife is the boss and she's sort of Timothy, sorry. It's a beautiful combination that needs to actually exist in a home to understand when Hot is saying something or when Cold is also saying something, because it helps to build character and also help them to understand when and where to behave or misbehave. My auntie will tell you that Koko siya totwa yenjan si baby fako, because it would burn, right? You have to keep turning it till it's all done. And that's a kind of beautiful relationship you always need in a home.
And it doesn't matter who is playing which role. It is towards the growth of the children.
Right.
So in Tim's case, I can imagine how frustrated it will be. But of course, in those moments of frustration, you have mommy stepping in to make sure that, don't be too frustrated. And in other cases, Kofi, how does it work at your end? Are you the bad cop?
No. I actually think that men, we've carried this bad name for a very long time. So when it gets there, she will say, my wife would say, fathers, so you do the tiang.
So that you will do the crocodile. I think that once it works well, and you're seeing your children turn out well, and you're happy with their outcome, I'm not sure it matters who is doing the crocodile and who is doing the tiang. Now I have Kofi Ochavi on Zoom. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? And happy birthday to you. You have been.
Thank you. I usually will say same to you, but let me be a gentleman this morning.
Happy birthday. We pray that God will continue to bless you with long life, prosperity, and everything that your heart desires.
Amen. Let it be. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so now to daddyhood. How many do you have to start with?
I have three.
Okay,
2 girls
so
and a
this
boy.
Three is the magic word number.
Is becoming the ideal one.
2 girls and a boy. The first Callista, second Beyonce, and then the last will be the boy, who's Josiah.
Okay. How has it been?
Yeah, it's a blessing to have them, I should say.
Okay, so we're looking at, from when you imagined being a daddy and the experience so far.
It's been that's you asking me to walk down memory lane right now, but
a bit of it.
Yesterday the same issue came up. I was talking to a few friends because I was actively traveling, music, performances. Sometimes you wake up in the country, you have to push curtains away to check where you are again and everything. But deep in my mind, I knew that at 30 I was going to settle down. And I would always imagine that starting a family at 30 and, having children, I was imagining that by the time I'm probably 50, I'm going to have a son, a daughter, somebody who was about 20, and it would be good enough for us to have a relationship, get the person to learn what I'm doing, or make the person my 2IC and all of that. And the reality just hit me yesterday when I turned 50. And that person that I imagined is Calista.
Wow.
And I'm like, most definitely, whatever it is that you think with your mind will come to pass.
True.
It will come to pass. I remember when my wife took seed, and she first told me that, I'm pregnant. I was taken aback. I didn't know if I was happy or I wasn't, or that mixed bag of emotions.
Yeah,
But eventually,
uncertainties.
yes. So I'm like, okay, if it's happened, then it has happened. So we thank God. This is what we prayed for. So let's get it on. And on some 24th September in 2005, it happened.
Wow.
I was shaking when the water broke. Hello.
Hi.
And she was a first-time mother as well, so it was a walk of uncertainties. She ended up in the hospital Thursday evening and stayed there through Friday. Of course, it was false alarm. And I stayed there because I really wanted to experience the birth process. I'm that curious. And it didn't happen on the Friday. I was just hoping, because I'm Kofi, I wanted a Friday.
Same problem.
But it didn't happen. I went home. I went home that Friday night. And then when I woke up around 8, thereabout, I had a lot of missed calls from wifey. And I had to return it, and it's like, she came.
Oh, so you weren't there.
You missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Let's go back in time and do this again. You pay me, give you.
Oh, but it was
crazy.
it was with some crazy speed that I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
This is in Kumasi, yes, back in 2005. And I went to the hospital straight to her bed, and she was lying there. The baby was in a cot by his side. I entered the room with all the joy, the excitement. But when I got to the cot side, I don't know what happened. I froze.
Yep.
I couldn't touch the baby. I looked at her. She was blinking repeatedly. She's looking up at me. And the reality hit me like, you're a father. You have a responsibility now. You have a baby, And I'm looking at her. Through the time I was there, I couldn't lift her up. They said, lift her up. I'm like,
no way.
Not today.
So I went home. Then I gathered all the vim. The Sunday when I was going back there. Immediately I entered the room without even talking to Stacy. I just went, put my 2 arms under the sheet she was covered in, and I just lifted her to my chest.
Oh dear, you made it.
Finally.
I did. I made it. And she smiled.
Oh.
And that relationship has been solid ever since. It's been there. The second one, now we between the first and the second was like 4 years. Because I was actively working, she was actively working, and we're raising one child. That is trouble. Hello?
Is she listening to you?
You are never trained for these things. You learn as you go. So
Yeah.
the experience is crazy. You know, it took a while, 4 straight years before we mastered the courage to go at, another one. And Beyonce, who unfortunately is the one that looks really like me, because when I saw Kali, I saw her mother. I saw her mother. But when Beyonce arrived, I looked at her, I'm like, yeah, this time I didn't doll up. Everything is in place. Everything is in place. Beyonce's experience, then we had moved to Accra. So Beyonce, because of Calista, we had the experience. So it was I went there the first day. I was able to carry her. She looks like me anyway.
Vim.
So
Vim.
with Vim, I carried her, and every time I'll put her to my chest and look at her, and somebody would just ask the question and I'll speak, she'll begin to cry. Because I don't know if my voice resonates in my chest and it scared her or something. But that is what happened for a long time. But then again, she's the only person too that if I don't cuddle, I don't pet, she will never sleep.
Wow.
No matter what her mother did, the mother never could put Beyonce to sleep.
Wow.
And that became I don't know how to describe it. It became a blessing and also a huge duty in disguise. You know, you women, when you see we are good with something, it becomes your job, even though it's your job.
We could do with all the support,
I know, right? Every time you hear, when I did that, no, then I'll go for her. Then to the boy. The boy, now we are masters. We have too much experience on our hands. And it was a beautiful process. Very beautiful process. I was looking for a boy because I had made 2 girls. And everybody is like, oh, you need to get a boy and then call it quits. Get a boy and call it quits. I said I seriously wanted 2. Whether they were boys, girls, or in between, I didn't care.
Which one is in between?
But God being so good, the I'm pregnant came again, and we were all like, static on which gender, it was going to be. And we waited for the period where we could check, and then we went and they said it was a boy. I'm like, oh my God, you love me so well. You love me so much. And then somewhere in October 2011, is it the 11th of October? Yes. 2011, I had the boy I was expecting, the one I wanted to be the mini-me. And the journey started for that one too. So it's been up, it's been down, it's been great raising them, you becoming the father figure, you learning to become that father figure, what to do, what not to do. You have to be stern at certain times, but you don't have to come across as a tyrant, because if you don't take it easy, you rather break a relationship than build one.
Build it, yeah.
And you have to be careful in all aspects. You are relating to the person as that lovely person that they would like to grow up, with, or grow up seeing, and they are full of trouble. They are full of, I don't know this, I'm doing it my way. It's your duty to stand up and be able to do it. At a point, I had to just move my business to the house. Just so I could stay with them 24/7. For a very long time. For a very long time, I had to take my wife to actually move me out again to go to the office. You build an office and start my personal businesses again and all of that. So it's been fun. It's been wild. It's been cries. It's been joy. It's been every emotion that has been made for humans to experience.
Wow. I actually can feel the joy in the stories you guys have shared here this morning, the whole journey and all that. And I would like to say congratulations to you guys. You've shown the way. Next week, what I think we should do, I'm going to have a conversation with my producer, is to get some very young fathers like Kojo Echampong. Those who are still in the stage, you see, and find out how they are also pushing through that stage. And reason we're doing this is to say that if you are, I don't know if there are still fathers like that, if you are irresponsible father, we don't care about you. It's your choice. We will continue to celebrate the fathers who have done amazing work, who are still doing amazing work, to inspire a lot of the fathers. And even if you have gone astray, listening to these stories, you just have to realize that you're missing so much. And I mean, you can always come back to start from somewhere than saying that time is gone, so you won't even bother, right? I'll move to the next leg of the conversation where I'll engage George a little bit more on George. I mean, hasn't had it too smooth. He's had the first one. The second one, he tells me, has multiple special needs, and so how has it been? And he's in the middle. So the first one, then you're looking forward to a second one, and he comes and wow, we have a lot to deal with.
Yep.
And then in the midst of dealing with that, sometimes I wonder, I've had conversations with mothers and parents who are raising children with special needs, and sometimes I ask, where do you gather the courage from to even go again without being afraid, without thinking that what if we have trouble with the next one too? So yes, over to you, George.
I think, they say that God will not give you anything that you cannot handle. And I have to give props to God for that, because really, I don't see how he thought I could handle this. But once you get in certain situations, just as my big brother here and the other guys on the line have said, once you get to certain situation, grace comes from nowhere. And then it settles on you. And that's the same thing we faced with Elroy. I mean, with Elroy, we had to stay in Kolubu for 2 months.
After he was delivered?
Yes. In fact, it started from Ridge Hospital. So, Safa gave birth to Elroy in Ridge Hospital, and they've realized that his nose was bone blocked. So now we had to take him straight to a funny story was this, right? When Elroy was born and they found out his nose was bone blocked, it's not tissue so that you could just punch, but bone blocked. Wow. So he was not breathing. You had to flick him. When he cries, air gushes in, then his skin turns pink. And then purple when he was, flirting with death. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But at that moment, they had to now take him to Kolubu, and they asked me if I'm okay. I'm like, come on, bro. I have no other choice. Yeah. But at that moment, something took over. That up and down, I cannot explain, if not grace. Because I went from being, an expectant father of my first boy to a project manager. For me, at that point, something had to be done. And I had to move emotions aside and put in a project manager's cap. Get the job done. Because what? From the hospital when he was born, there was no ambulance. And the ambulance wasn't coming anytime soon. And you could see this kid who needed help. So I had to get him in my car. Funny enough, I had this Kukurumaja car that I had said to myself that 2 weeks before, the baby comes, I'll go and do servicing and everything will be okay. But God has his own way. And the horn did not blow in that car. It was Thursday. It was around 9 a.m. on the streets of Accra from Northridge to Kolebu.
Oh, Northridge Clinic.
Yes,
Okay.
to Kolebu. And the horn did not blow. So you can imagine the traffic. I had the nurse sitting at the back with my minute-year-old baby. I had to not look back. I had to just keep steady the course.
Where was your wife?
So, Safa, she went through CS.
Okay.
You know, so she was still coming in and out. But the thing is this, I had to sort of lie to Safa. Because she was dealing with, you know, her issues and stuff. So I told her that, look, the baby was a beautiful boy. You should see he looks just like me, you know, just to get her excited. And I told her, you know, we have to go and register him in Kolebu. It's a new thing that is being done. So I have to take the baby away. So she had to trust me because, of course, I mean, there was no need not to at that moment. So I said bye-bye to her and then went with the child to Kolebu, you know. And in Kolebu, I was asked, you know, if they should go ahead with the operation because they now had to drill for his nostrils and then put. So before Elroy even turned year 1, he had done 4 major surgeries.
Oh, Christ.
I haven't even done one up to now. So that boy is really like my strength.
Christ.
After the 4th surgery, they now realized that Elroy is actually death. So we now had to go to the States to go and do an operation that cost $50,000.
Hey.
$50,000 before leaving to the States, because they couldn't do the operation here, and wherever the operation was done, we had to stay there for 5 months. So we had family in the States, and then we decided to make the trip to the States. $50,000, and then we got to know when we got to the States. Mind you, Kweku had come, so was 4 of us already. So we had to now get ready and go to the States. We had to sell 1 or 2 things just to make the bill for tickets and all that. And then only to get to the States and to be told that, so the guys in the States, the hospital there said that we're not sure about what Kolebu is saying, so they have to do their own test again, which was another $6,000 plus. That went within seconds. After they were done with the test, then they said that yes, Kolebu is right. He needed what we call a cochlear implant. Okay. How much was a cochlear implant? $50,000. They wouldn't give us any plan, nothing.
You had to pay up.
We had to pay up because we came from outside the country, you know. And once she heard 50,000, my wife was on the floor rolling. She's like, "We are dead. We are doomed." But you see, as a father, this is why I keep saying that there's a special grace that comes in you, because I didn't show face. I had a poker face on. I didn't show face because at that moment, my wife is looking at me for strength. The child is also looking at me for a smile. How can I go ahead and say that, Charlie? So I had to have it in me. I had a tsunami and a whirlwind blowing up in me. But for some reason, grace kept me steady. And then came the bit about putting yourself aside for your child. So $50,000, where was I going to get this money from? And, you know, me preme ni kakra. What I say, and I sort of have a small name, and I like to keep myself that way. So now I was told that before I can do that, what if I try social media and make an appeal? Me, go on social media and make an appeal that what? But then I had to put that image, that look of being Mr. Mr. Guy aside, and then put on the image of a father whose son needs him.
Exactly.
So even sending that message on social media was one of the hardest things I've actually had to do. But funny enough, as soon as I did that, so in the States, it's funny when you go to the States and you say you're looking for help. It's one of the toughest things you have to do. So it's either you pay now, or you forget it. So we had to now start a GoFundMe, and as soon as we did that, within 3 days we had $15,000. And as soon as they saw that, they were like, okay,
This will work.
this will work. So then they booked us, you know. I had a lot of people reaching out, people calling me on video just to ensure that it is me because they know me, you know. But I was like, yo, this is what I'm going through.
It is
and
what it
it
is.
is what it is. You know, I had to put myself aside. And by grace, we now have the, what's it called? The cochlear implant for Elroy. That came with another cost with healthcare in America.
It surely will.
And now, I used to worry about what would become of Elroy, but I had to stop and say, look, let me do something about it. So my wife and I started being advocates for persons with disability. Why? Because we had good people around us that were able to come up with a $50,000+.
Yeah.
But how about those that didn't have that opportunity? So now we started pushing for persons with disability, and by grace, where I work now, Societe Generale, due to this advocacy, we started taking persons with disability from national service so that they can have the opportunity to work in an institution like Societe Generale and hopefully anywhere else. So it's now become something for me that I never thought I could have. Now I get to be called on panels to talk about persons with disability. I also get to consult for certain institutions like GIZ and the rest of them on persons with disability. So something that came to us as sort of like a bad luck has now sort of turned into a blessing of somewhat.
And how is he doing?
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. Elroy, when you see Elroy looks just like me. Unfortunately, he's finer than I am, but you know, I can take it like that. You know, he's wonderful. And the thing, you know, about having Elroy and even having the mindset to have another child, that I totally give it to my wife, Safako. I had nothing to do because I was like, yo, I know it's going to be difficult for you, so let's just put it home. But she's like, no, I need another boy. I need another child. And then Kweku came. And it was good that Kweku came, because if he had stayed in Sefako, I'm sure she would have gone mad by now. That rascal.
Wow.
Yes.
This, I don't even know what to say.
It's grace. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, George, you are the man.
No, it's grace. It's grace.
Wow. I mean, it's not linear.
No.
I mean, okay, I'm married.
Yeah.
We get pregnant, we have babies.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have it that way, praise the Lord. But some people don't have it easy.
No, not at all.
And I think this is a mark of fatherhood. You know? From when you had to drive the child, you had to calm wifey down. You know, you were going through a lot yourself.
Yep.
Imagine you were in there. What would have happened if you weren't there?
It would have turned something that
Yeah, and probably
Shouldn't have.
he wouldn't have been here today.
Oh,
right.
And you
Most
wouldn't
definitely.
have been an advocate looking out for other people today, you know. So that being present, the importance of being present, because this is your responsibility together. And like, yo, congratulations. I'm not sure, this is a men's conversation, and I'm just excited that men are showing up like this for their families, for their children. And like for me now, I see a lot of young men showing up very, very, very strongly. That era, I think, is gone.
Yeah.
And if you still want to live in that era, that's you. You're not our problem. I've said it a million times today. We want to focus on these stories. The one that when they say daddy, you can respond with your whole chest. You know what I mean? Like all the stories you guys have shared with us this morning. Kofi Ochame had to what? Pack his office and be in his home to work just to make sure that I'm attending to my children for so long. It had to take Stacy to sack him from the house and to go and start like this one. Yes, when they call you daddy, you beat your chest and go like, yeah, this is me. We will be right back to continue.
Hello, Ohima. Eti saying.
Ayo.
Na edahin.
Me kwatade.
Edie bensa.
Krachi. Obesuja na se obehwenkwem.
miracle. Na se jane de wo so aye den ankwan de wo hwem kakra.
Anyway, me ko pe vitamin B de ajojo makoma.
What a coincidence. Me say no na me ko to, no na me no.
Hey bra, wait dear wo boa.
Oh, I want to meet me ntwa wontro.
Sawara.
Aha, Vitamilk no emu de he pa na we ni je ho.
Me pe Vitamilk banana any choco because I'm black and proud.
Hey, interesting. Me dey me a regular guy oh. So wow.
When you kapao.
So wow. I can see we have something in common. Ohima, yanko ni yanko try a Vitamilk connection. Wo de bo me kana metia. Anye bia se kwan down.
E kwan be.
Aha, na muni brebi. Vitamilk di foforo bia be kambusua ne ho your friend of Vitamilk strawberry. Vitamilk feels good anywhere anytime. This advert is FDA approved.
Let me introduce you to the Honeymoon Hotel.
Aula, please. You can't just change your mind anytime it suits you.
Wow, I can't believe you're doing this on our honeymoon night.
I am going to sleep in the lobby.
I'm coming with you.
Don't follow me.
I'm coming with you.
Woman, it's more kind.
Don't. Me, I will, don't. You two don't, I'll come.
Adapted and directed by Shirley Frimpong Manso. Honeymoon Hotel. Starring Jocelyn Dumas, James Gardner, Amake Ababrese, Amanda Gisi, Andrew Tando Adote, David Donto, and more. Live on stage on June 20th, 21st, and 22nd, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day at the National Theatre. Tickets are available now at 200 Ghana cedis regular, 350 Ghana cedis VIP. Dial *713 *33 *10#. For more information, call 0545 246 478. Sponsored by African Regent Hotel, Caveman Watches, Oyarifa Mall, McPhillips Food, and AE Cinemax.
The Honeymoon Hotel, where love lasts. Powered by Africa Arts Network.
Papa no no, 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 Alcasa. Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more Super. And the Polytank, we did. Polytank, papa no no, 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 Alcasa.
Always the best.
Mommy, the Nido.
Hello. Please add a pack of Nido.
Sure. Sister, is that your daughter?
Yes.
The last time she came to buy Nido by herself, and I forgot to collect my money.
Oh, sorry. I'll pay today.
Don't be sorry. She made sure to remind me. I love her honesty. So well done.
Oh, thank you. Confident, curious kids will change our world. Nido, especially formulated with iron, vitamin C, and A. Nido, your love, their future.
This advert is FDA approved.
For 11 years, we've taken you beyond borders. For 11 years, we've delivered memorable travel experiences. Now, it's time to see more and feel more with Adansi Travels at 12. 12 times the fun, 12 times the excitement. This August, explore the best of Europe, the UK, Dubai, Turkey, Singapore, Malaysia, Johannesburg, and beyond. With a team dedicated to your travel dreams, every journey is carefully crafted to leave you with unforgettable memories. Your journey with Adansi Travels is more than a trip. It's your chance to see more, feel more, and discover the world in a whole new way. Don't just stamp your passport, stamp it with incredible experiences. Call 0595 500 817 or 0531 008 550 or visit AdansiTravels.com to book your spot. Adansi at 12. See more, feel more.
If you're just joining us, you're a bit late. But yes, we've been talking about the joy of being a present father. If you're not present in the lives of your children, waiting you gain as a father. Home Affairs is brought to us by Vitamilk, indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. I have George with me in the studio, George Ajabane. George is a father. He's the head of innovation, SG Ghana, and an advocate for persons with special needs or persons with disabilities. And then Kofi Donko is here. Kofi is a father as well. He's a father of girls. He lives in a girls' dormitory. He's an artist manager. Kofi Ochiame is on Zoom. He shared a story with us as well. He's a father, a media practitioner, and a musician. And then I have Timothy also on Zoom, Timothy Bentum. He is also a father, a pastor, and an actor. They have all shared their experiences with fatherhood with us in the studio. And it's been amazing. If you missed it from the beginning, no worries. Facebook at Joy997, YouTube at Joy997. You will catch the whole conversation. And trust me, you need it. Listen to it, watch it, share it, and let people know that it's a beautiful thing to be a father. And we have our Father's Day promotion ongoing. So you want to be part of it. What you are doing is simply calling into Drive Time and sharing, the experience you have with your father with us, and then some of the most touching stories. What we are doing is that we'll compile the stories, read the stories on air, and then we will reward your fathers. We are not rewarding you. We're rewarding your father because he did a good job in your life. So you want to catch us on Drive Time. The whole of next week it continues until we send, the packages to the fathers. Let's now like to find out from our fathers in the studio. I mean, George has shared his. I'll come to Kofi to share with us some of, the major challenges that sometimes will test you as a dad and how you surmount them. And one of the things I also have heard is that the best gift you can give to your children is to love their mother well. And so you also want to find out the relationship between they and their wives and how they are blending the jobs together. But ahead of that, though, the joy of every parent is to see their children grow healthy and become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has the essential nutrients that can promote their well-being. And one of these nutritious foods, we are talking about Vitamilk soy milk drink. It is made from whole grain soybean, which is a good source of plant protein, and it is enriched with omega-3, 6, and 9, and it has calcium and all the other essential nutrients needed for your daily living. It has no colorants, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. So why don't you choose the Vitamilk Champ for your children? Because the protein, the calcium, and the omega-3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to help your adorable children grow smarter, healthier, and stronger every day. Vitamilk also comes in its regular soy milk drink. You can also have it in the energy booster with no caffeine, the choco, the banana, the strawberry, and it is packaged in 250 ml and 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. And yay, this August, our Dancer Travels is turning up the excitement as part of its 12 years of delivering unforgettable travel experiences. Get ready to see more, feel more, and explore some of the world's most exciting destinations, from fun-filled family adventures in Dubai to romantic getaways in Asia, thrilling escapes with friends in South Africa, or long-awaited dream trips across Europe. It's not just travel, it's an experience you will never forget. So call Adansi Travels now on 0595 500-817 or 0531 003550, or visit adansitravels.com to book your spot. Numbers again will be 0595 500-817 or 0531 005550. Let's make memories together this August. Adansi at 12. See more, feel more. get ready for the biggest theater event of the year. From the screen to the stage, Shirley Frimpong makes her theater debut, adapting and directing Honeymoon Hotel's stage play originally written by Stephen Yao Opong. You simply cannot miss this, starring Jocelyn Dumas, James Gardner, Amake Abebrese, David Donto, Jasmine Barudi, Andrew Tando Adote, Amanda Jisi, and many more, all live on stage. It's happening at the National Theatre on June 20th, 21 and 22, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. each day. Tickets are available now at 200 CDs for regular and 350 VIP. You want to dial the short code *713 *33 *10 hash. It's *713 *33 *10 hash, or visit the various locations: Africa Regent Hotel, Airport Shell, Bachona Total, Silverbird Cinemas, and Ozone Cinema or Yarefa Mall to get your tickets. You can also call 054-524-6478 for more information. This is sponsored by Africa Regent Hotel, Caveman Watches, Oyarifa Mall, Verna Water, McPhillips Foods, and Ace Cinemax. Honeymoon Hotel, powered by African Arts Network. I was telling you earlier about, the Joy FM Father's Day promotion. All you have to do is call into Drive Time, and then you will share with us, your experience with your father, the best experiences our judges will choose, and then you get to win loads of packages for your father. And this promotion is sponsored by Woodin. Celebrate Dad with Woodin and receive a lovely gift. Woodin, le créateur. Achimoto Retail Center. Shop at Achimoto Retail Center this Father's Day for amazing discounts. Achimoto Retail Center, Vibes in Kwan, Lancaster, Accra Hotel, a luxurious seaside haven, uniquely golden, traditionally Ghanaian. Caveman, be remembered. Vitamilk feels good everywhere, every time. La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, a luxurious seaside haven, uniquely golden, traditionally Ghanaian. Akono Ginger, Akono Ginger, Efriwara. Hey, namudi chi baby me anope. And Legacy Crop Improvement Center, the home of quality seeds. Alrighto, I am back to my guest now, and I'm starting with you, Kofi, in the studio. Some of the major challenges you have had to face as a daddy, how you chested them, and how making fatherhood or easy has been due to the relationship you have with wifey as well.
Hey, challenges in India, George, I ain't in your man.
George, challenge, yeah, we challenge, Kofi.
Hey, I'm in George, for me, I said, I'm in challenge.
I'll go for the done, I say.
Oh, but I think that God has been good. I just listened to what George has shared, and I'm like, wow, he's a man. But all in all, I really don't have so much of a challenge because God has blessed me with a very beautiful and a supportive wife that makes life very easy for me as a father. It will be difficult, and it will be I think I'll be ungrateful to say that I've had so much challenges raising the girls and all that, because like I said earlier, my wife does most of the job. It's more like they will call me when there are bills to be paid, of course, and but all in all, it's really been good. It's really been joyful. It's been fun. And I find it difficult when I get into a space where, because I live in a girls' dormitory, if I enter a space where I see a lot of boys and they are running and their parents will be shouting, "Hey, Tracy!" Hey, so I ask myself, hey, So, so I tend to, tease my friends who have boys and say, now how I know how
I know, right?
All because God has been good to me, all because I think that I've really not had challenges as in, you have any of your children being that difficult, that stubborn to say this one, no, I have not had that kind of experience. And I also want to attribute that to the kind of faith or foundation we have, knowing very well that this is a prayerful family. I mean, we will have our devotions together, have our Bible studies and all that. And sometimes if we really want to have fun, then we'll say, draw your sword, where everything is,
yeah,
Bible related kind of, and I'm sure they also see how my wife and I relate.
Yeah.
The kind of bond we share. I don't have a friend to say that this is my best friend. I'm not sure there's anybody that I can say is my best friend. All I have is my wife. And all I have, my girls.
Yeah.
So, to summarize it, I would say God has been good. All because I think that it started with the relationship we have with God and the relationship that exists between us as a family. And most importantly, the relationship between my wife and myself.
Great. Sure, thank you. Timothy, are you there? Okay, yes, I see Timothy online. So I am coming to you now to find out from you some of the most difficult moments you have had in being a daddy and how your relationship with, your wife has impacted, the beauty of the family you're raising.
It's
When I hear the
difficult moments. I mean, they pale into oblivion if put next to George's journey. I doff my hat to him and Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie, more grace. I think that it's actually God knows best. I believe that many people like George are going through. Many people who are going through what George is going through, or the kids he, championed the cause for, God has just used him as a reason for men to smile, as a reason for mothers to, find solace in the story, and that, God always knows best, and for the awareness to be created for people like that. And I think that Charlie is nothing compared to what I'm going to say and what I've been through. But yes, kudos for coming thus far. Personally, the biggest problem I've had to face with my 17-year-old, and she said it out there before, so it's not me, snitching, and I know that I won't have a problem when I get back home, is that when she was, I think she was about maybe 15 and a half, she was in one of these girls' schools in Cape Coast, and I had to yank her out and bring her closer to me because she started slitting her wrists, and this is what, maybe 3 years ago, she started slitting her wrists, and, so she has lots of scars on her wrist. I don't know how, the kind of company she fell in, whatever, she started, drinking all kinds of things, and I don't know how that
happened.
Started, because we've been like a very close-knit family, and the bond is there. There've been no gaps in there and all of that. But that's not happening. I remember one time I was home, she was called from a school in Accra, called that she was vomiting and all of that. So I was somewhere, I had to cut the presentation short and drive like James Bond to her school to get there. And I put her in the car. I said, you know what? I'm not going to tell Mom about this. I was crying, literally. and I was telling her, you know what? It's I might have made mistakes bringing you up, but I want you to know it's my first time being a father of a 16-year-old. I have no experience in this matter. So I might make mistakes. I might scream when I don't have to scream. I might do things I don't have to do. But please look at it through my eyes. I've never done this before. So whatever it is that has gotten you here, please, let's deal with it. So we had that conversation. Well, she was whatever. I mean, she was vomiting because she had gone to drink something or something. So go back home. And then I noticed that, yes, we are all being very physical about these things, but yeah, there's spiritual sides to every story.
Exactly.
So I got home. I mean, we had a conversation. All along, my wife hadn't been really taking it serious because I always would shield it and try to deal with it and all of that. So when I finally told her, and she looked at me and she said, okay, I'm going to be in the office. Make sure nobody knocks. I said, you said what? She's like, well. So she locked herself in the office at home, that is. And for 3 days, she didn't eat or drink. And when my wife came out of the office, my daughter's life had turned 360 or 180.
Wow.
180. She fasted and prayed for 3 days. And when she came back, I mean, nobody mentioned it again till her own, I think, 16th birthday. Some sort of whatever, somewhere at an equestrian place, somewhere. And then she told the whole church. She cried, said, I'm glad to be alive. This went through. So she told her own story to everybody. And that actually reminds me of I mean, I'm a pastor, so forgive me. Reminds me of the text that says, David says that when I was down, you covered me. When I was suffering and going through my issues of disgrace, you covered me and nobody could see my disgrace. Indeed. And then you worked on me and brought me out. After you brought me out, you uncovered me, and then you said, now you go tell them the story yourself. So when she was going through all of this, I was still preaching. I was still praying for people with similar problems. I was still doing whatever a father would do, whatever a pastor would do, up until the time when God brought her out, and then now she herself went to tell the story. So that was the most difficult time in my life as a father, and that has taught me a lot of things. Taught me a lot of things. How to deal with these teenagers and how to touch them and how to because the most intimate kind of love is when you are able to hold somebody's hands and pray with them, because then you don't touch their bodies, you touch their soul.
Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you so much. Wow. You guys are tough. Kofi Achame, my time is almost up. I'm on to you now.
I am here for you.
Yes.
Well, to George, let me say that kudos. He's done a yeoman's job. I mean, it doesn't come easy. And of course, I am believing that amongst us on this panel this morning, he is the hero. He's done what Napoleon could not do. Now,
we all say, are you cool to you again?
Give thanks.
Are you cool to Timo? Of course, the Bible helps. The Bible always helps. God is always there to, see to some of these things. In my case, well, I remember I came from work one evening, and then I was handed my baby, and the joy of, settling down with your baby, and, after a hard day's work, you try to catch up with a non-talking baby about what has been going on in the day whilst you were not home. And we playfully, I'm sitting in a rock chair in my room at that time in Kumasi, and she was on my chest. She fell asleep first, and I don't know what time I also slept. So she's lying on my chest. I am also asleep. But somewhere in between, I could feel something was rolling from my, even in my sleep, was rolling from my chest, it kept going down and down. And then I was, startled, and I woke up.
And your baby was on the floor.
And almost.
Jesus.
She was at my feet. And this baby is like 6 months, 7 months.
Wow.
I caught her before. Yeah, it's still an argument in my house that she hit the floor. I'm like, she didn't hit the floor. we we still fight over it. When I say we, I mean my wife and I. And the scream when I caught her, the high-pitched scream, I have never forgotten that. And the mother was in the kitchen. She heard it and had to run to the room. Oh, Ediasem, why is she screaming? Then I had to narrate what happened. This baby would not stop crying. For the next hour, she was crying. So we became scared. We had to put her in a car, started driving to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and we went to the babies unit. And there was a doctor present. At this time, it was almost 11 in the night. So he had to check everybody part. They have a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Started from the head, yeah. Then it will come to the neck, to the chest area. They are looking for certain reactions and everything. And she didn't respond to any one of them. So the doctor is like, you know what? Probably she's alarmed.
Yeah, she panicked.
The rate at which she was, yeah. So, and that is the reason for the cry, because I've checked. It doesn't look like any part is hurting or anything. So he should believe that she's fine. But my wife wouldn't take that for an answer. And seriously, a part of me didn't take it either. I was just being tough. I was just being a man, and I was also defending my action. I didn't want to be all my fault if truly something had happened. So we kept on and on and on. And this doctor friend of mine, he said, you guys follow me. So he took us to the intensive care unit, ICU that night. And we saw all manner of babies, incubators, babies looking different colors, some on oxygen and this and that. And he would just walk us through them, then he would be looking at us. And after about a 10-minute tour, we came out and he asked us, so you think your baby is sick? I said, please, let's go home. I believe she's fine.
That's how the matter was resolved.
Yeah. And we came back to the car. She had stopped crying finally. And by the time we go home, it was all peace again.
I'm sure she she saw what was going on.
Yeah. I think she was just scared of the fall. But the most difficult part would be when my wife was taken ill for almost 2 years of my life. And I had to be the father and the mother at the same time. That detail, I don't think you have the airtime for that.
No. Yeah.
So I'm going to just have to put that in the bag for another time.
Indeed.
But that, when I had to relocate the family to Cape Coast, and I had to commute from Cape Coast to Accra to work and go back. Oh my God.
Yeah. At this point, I just would like to say thank you to all of you. Wow. And usually men are not the type to open up so much, but this has been something, the depth of, information, the honesty, how much you have opened up. I appreciate all of you. So to you, Kofi Donko, George Ejabane, Kofi Ochamin, and Timothy Benthum. Let me just say thank you to all of you. But then before we go, George brought us something nice. So I'm going to give yours, Kofi Ochamin and Timothy. I'll give yours to Kofi Donko. You'll find you.
Kofi Ochiami and I are neighbors.
Okay, great. So this is kalami. Kalami in my parlance is fried fish in Chinam. Package. You should see the packaging. Very beautiful. His wife does it. And then he says that, look, take some to the fathers that you're going to be on the show with. So,
hey,
yes.
Consider go ahead into please. I have cake there. No, it's your 50th. It's your 50th. So it's your gift to me.
So he's bringing it to you. And I mean, if you're listening, just to support George, the number to call will be 0208 775 967 or 0256 735164. We'll put a package on our social media page so that you can have a look at it and then you get some. But thank you for bringing it to, the
Pleasure.
men in the studio. We
Pleasure.
appreciate it. And this is how we are ending Home Affairs today. We have Weekend City Show coming up right after Home Affairs. And thank you. I appreciate all of you. Bye-bye.